Hello, this is Josh Ringer. I'm going to talk to you about these first 2 weeks, just kind of summarize our readings, what we've been reading through. We've got several people, one person that's dropped, a few people that have added to the course. And so these first 2 weeks is really important about getting us into a pattern of how this online class works if you're not used to it. Or if you're not used to the way I run these online courses. But I try very much so in these classes to not surprise you during the course. I really want you to be comfortable and focused on learning, and focused on your learning objectives for the course and during the semester. You have a lot of other responsibilities and other courses, and so I don't want to surprise you, and that's why I don't like having quizzes, a lot of tests, but instead I have these weekly summaries, which I've explained in a video that's been posted online for this week. So you have that video. So you should have a recap of the assignments that we have this past week was to finish an introductory PowerPoint. I gave you an example, and about 7 of you have posted. I want to try to make sure everybody in the course gets those posted as soon as possible, so we get to know each other. The second thing that you need to do is look at my instructions for the individual team value summary. This is very important. This is a vital document for building teams so that we can get the projects assigned, okay, for the final project. And that's our pattern. Is every week we look at the readings, the weekly organizer, we do the readings, you do the summary, 1-page summary sheet, you post online and you respond to others, and you work on your project. So we've got to get that final project, agroecosystems analysis, going. So this first week, everyone's getting on board. You've posted, you've read the FAO State of the Food and Agriculture. You should have read the article by Pimentel about food problems from 2009. You should have then read from Agriculture about growing food and solutions from Nuremberg in 2013, and then the FAO 2013 State of Food Insecurity. And so these are giving some context for you. And then in the second week, I provided you, since most of you don't have your textbooks yet, I provided you with Gleisman's 2015 our textbook, Agroecology, the Ecology of Sustainable Food Systems, the first chapter. And along with that, a chapter from a larger book, The World's Challenge, Feeding 9 Billion People, an online PDF from chapter 8, talking about the need to strive for more productive yet ecological agriculture. And so these 2 weeks and these readings set the stage for our course of understanding from more of a systems perspective, an agroecology systems perspective, agriculture. For those who are not exposed to agriculture before, and for those who grew up on a farm, have lots of farm experience, but perhaps, typically our farms now, larger farms, if you grew up on a farm, you grew one crop, you grew wheat, you grew rice, you grew corn, and you didn't get a wide array of crops, and sometimes as we grew up, it was difficult to see the whole systems approach. And so that's what we're going forward in this perspective with this course. And so it's important to understand the perspective. So Gleisman, definitely in Oklahoma, we have the state question, 777, the right to farm question. And it really is, if you look at different producers within the state, the commodity groups, and then also those that are kind of more focused on local food systems, local food and alternative agriculture. It's pitting a little bit between big ag, industrial ag, and small ag or alternative agriculture, and urban versus rural. And so my point in this class is not to pick sides and to push any one particular agenda, except to know that our trends, both from urban policymakers, and from a more understanding of the impact of agriculture on the environment, that as producers, local food producers, and as developers, as we go into the international agriculture development arena, that we have to have balance between production, our use of chemicals, our use of modern farming technologies or industrial agriculture technologies, and the concerns of local people, their environment, and the impacts on the water that they drink, and the forests that they live near, and their agroecosystems. So as you'll see, you can tell in Gleisman he definitely has. Once you get your book, which you should be ordering, so that you'll have it by the end of this week or first part of next week. That Gleisman definitely has a very much ecology perspective. You'll read this first reading, and he's very much against large-scale agriculture, and he's just really emphasizing the problems that large-scale industrial agriculture can have. And we know that, yet at the same time, the Green Revolution, with semi-dwarf varieties of wheat and then later of rice from the International Rice Research Institute that were pushed through in India and in Southeast Asia and in China, have been vital for increasing food production. And so we, in this class, I'm advising we need to have balance. We need to understand both sides of the argument, and we need to understand what is the scientific understanding that underpins these different systems. So we can't just say we love organic ag, we're going to do organic ag, and we haven't looked through, well, what's the realities on using manures as a fertilizer source, especially for resource-poor smallholder farmers. And so if we're going to be good developers, either on the large-scale industrial agriculture or small-scale with smallholder farmers, we need to understand the underlying scientific basics of it and the soundness of it. Okay, so I think Gillou and Matheron in their article has I think they're a good balanced approach to it. The FAO articles, mainstream, large-scale agriculture, but they also, there's a concern, we have to be more wise about our resources. And that's one of the important parts of this approach. In addition, but obviously, if you read Pimentel, he's one of the early colleagues of Miguel Altieri, one of the founders of agroecology, and mentioned by Gleisman in his book. He's definitely going to be more on the side of what was considered in the past alternative agriculture. And one of the interesting things you'll see in this balance, the need for this balance, is I'm seeing now in new grant opportunities with USDA, meaning the United States Department of Agriculture, and from USAID, this emphasis upon more of an agroecology approach. And so that's why we're studying it. That's why we're looking at it. So remembering that we should have this balance. So that's kind of that is my summary of the first 2 weeks. For those of you that got on the discussion boards, and Josh Campbell's been there also, commenting on your comments. I'll get on there too, but I want to make sure first that we get these final projects going, and that aspect is moving along. And you'll see, if you'll look through my example from the summary page, I gave you the summary of what I saw if I was doing a summary page in this example from the first week of the readings, the key information from the readings, and then an application to a Central Oklahoma cattle and winter wheat farm, okay, which is actually my parents' farm. So let's anyway. I'm excited about this. These first 2 weeks, we're taking care of a lot of logistics right now, and but if you have any questions, make sure and email me, and we'll keep moving forward.